keep our awareness inward, let's listen to the affirmation of this week on the subject of work by Swami Kriyananda ji. Work should be done with a creative attitude, never for the sake of selfish gain, but for the chance it gives us to help create a better world. Those who work with the thought of pay live in the future. They lose the habit of living here and now, where alone true happiness can be found. Work should always be done as well as possible, not out of self-conceit, but in gratitude for the free gift of life, of sunshine, of water, of air, and in gratitude simply for our God-given power to be useful to our fellow man. Let us affirm together. I will do my work thinking of Thee, Lord.
I will do my work thinking of Thee, Lord.
I offer to Thee
I offer to Thee
the very best that is in me.
the very best that is in me.
I will do my work thinking of Thee, Lord.
I will do my work thinking of Thee, Lord.
I offer to Thee
I offer to Thee
the very best that is in me.
the very best that is in me.
In a softer voice now, I will do my work thinking of Thee, Lord. I offer to Thee the very best that is in me. Now whispering, I will do my work thinking of Thee, Lord. I offer to Thee the very best that is in me. Now silently, I will do my work thinking of Thee, Lord. I offer to Thee the very best that is in me. One last time, I will do my work thinking of Thee, Lord. I offer to Thee the very best that is in me. Let us silently offer this prayer. Beloved Lord, who so wonderfully created the high snowy mountains, the bounding rivers, the colorful fragrant flowers, the vast heaving oceans, and the distant glittering stars, manifest through me Thy perfect joy. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We will have our weekly reading from Rays of the One Light now.
Good evening, everybody. Our reading today is from the book Rays of the One Light by Swami Kriyananda ji. This is weekly commentaries on the Bible and Bhagavad Gita. This is week 6, the importance of soul receptivity. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. Chapter 1 of the Gospel of St. John states, But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. This was a passage Paramahansa Yogananda often quoted to his disciples. Be in tune, he would tell them. Delusion can't touch you if you will keep in tune. A few of you will fall, he said once, but it needn't be so if you stay in tune. Of a disciple who became highly advanced, even though she didn't meditate much, he said, she got there by attunement. To one who found meditation difficult, he said, I will meditate for you as long as you stay in tune. Truth is a state of consciousness, not a well-worded definition. It is in that consciousness above all that our lives are transformed. Therefore, the Bhagavad Gita says in the 10th chapter, To those who are ever attached to me and who worship me with love, I impart discernment, by means of which they attain me. Out of my love for them, I, the divine within them, set alight in them the radiant lamp of wisdom, thereby dispelling the darkness of their ignorance. Thus, through the Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind. Om. Om. Om.
Good evening once again, everybody. How many students do we have online? 19, wonderful. Now, today's topic is one of soul receptivity, as I was sharing. And I was quite surprised, as I was preparing for that, those lines I read to you. Now, on one level, not so much, because the spiritual path can be approached in so many ways. Think of it as self-offering. Swami used to often repeat, actually, Vasudeva was reading Swami saying, Master often repeated that. And Swami also, I think towards the end of his life, in every talk, I remember him saying those lines. To as many as received him, gave he the power to become sons of God. Now, we normally don't think of this very high teaching because the hunger may not be there to become like Christ. Or people say, if you ask somebody, are you happy? They'll say, yeah, more or less like everyone, I'm okay. But to the few who feel on a soul level, soul memory, we know there's got to be something else. This just cannot be, there has to be something more. It's almost like your next day is predictable. Then you start asking for something more. And Swami said at that point, there are certain stages that we all go through. The Indian caste system, for example, he would say is based on that. In the beginning, and even now, you see Maya or Satan is always there. The thought often comes, to people that, if only I did nothing. If I could buy a big sofa and stay home, and if every morning when I woke up, there'd be some money below my pillow, I would just make a cup of tea, sit on that couch and call it a good day, and life would be so wonderful. I don't know, think about it. When that thought has come to me, I have realized maybe after some time I'll say, what am I doing sitting on this couch? I have to, it's a certain passive acceptance of life and a certain happiness, and there has to be the next level. You may feel alone, for example, sitting alone at home. And Swami says, you are beginning to come out after a long time from the Shudra consciousness where you say, forget about it. I'm not going to do anything for anybody or myself. Passivity, ignorance is bliss, as they say, a very popular line. Well, after some time, the bliss stops being there, and we go out and we realize that I need to make friends. I need to help other people. I need to do something. There has to be more energy. And Swami says that's the Vaishya consciousness, that I'll make you a cup of tea if you make me a cup of coffee, or I'll say good things about you if you also tomorrow tell me nice things about me. Or our money exchange can happen. I'll give you a reward, and but 2 years later, do remember me when you're giving recognition or something. And so it's better than the couch, but you almost again know what's coming, and that it's like the heart is slightly more open, more energy is flowing. But again, Swami says, and today, he said the world is in Dwapara Yuga, the second stage, and he said most people, the mass consciousness is on that level, that, okay, you want me to do something, what are you going to give me for that? Because it's a higher stage, but after a while you say, I'm, like many people say, I'm doing my job, but what else is there? Why? Because they're seeking a certain happiness. Well, that third stage is the Kshatriya consciousness, where a soul starts feeling my joy, my own happiness depends in seeking others out, seeking an idea, a project, and a group, a cause, and giving to it. And when I do that without people not knowing, without any name, fame, money, I feel happy. Now, this is not common in our times, but every now and then when somebody does that, it comes in the news that, oh, so-and-so sacrificed their money, they gave their inheritance, they did something for the community, or somebody gives their life to protect other people. Now, you may think, why? If you ask that person, I have met some people in the army. I met this one person, I forget his name. He runs a popular YouTube channel. We just bumped in a bookstore in Gurgaon. And you could just, the guy has taken bullets for the country and again, and you could just see from his aura that if that was taken from him, he could not just do a 9-to-5 job. He had to be in the battlefield, and he was happy, and he talks about it, and he tells people, do something more, improve yourself, eat better, exercise every day, because he has found out that his happiness depends on it. Swami said, when you go through many incarnations of dying repeatedly for a cause. Now you see there is a loss of memory in between. You might say, Master said, for example, we may be complaining about our life right now, but Master said a child once in Ananda, I believe one of our communities, he told his parents something like, I didn't choose you all either. I had other options. I don't know why I came in this family. And in a tantrum, we can say that. But Master said, oh, that's not the case. We choose our family. We are karmically drawn, but we also choose. We say yes to what we are signing up for, but we forget. And here then we start bemoaning, why is this happening to me? But why do we sign up? Because somewhere we know that this is exactly where life has brought me so far. And if I can change my attitude, like that reading said, if I can work, if I can serve with that spirit. I have personally seen, there were times in my life, I used to get 2 weeks off every year as a training doctor. Even as a training doctor, weekends were taken away from us, 36, 48, 54-hour shifts. And when I got those 2 weeks off in the first year and second year, what did I do? I wasn't surprised then, but now I look back. I went to a missionary hospital in Bihar, where patients are referred from 65 villages, so I could learn more, so I could serve more. And people were like, why don't you sleep? Why don't you rest? Are you crazy? This is holiday. And for me, I was like, but I'm enjoying it. So when we work with that spirit, that it's not about money, it's not about me, it's not even so much about learning or ticking the procedures you've done in the book, it's about making friends. I remember, and then God arranges everything else. Divine Mother's drama, I was talking about it in the beginning. So here you're trying to be helpful, and you would think God would make it easy. So I go to this, I sign up for this village. I said, do you need a doctor? These are my skills. Can I come and help? He said, please come. So tell us in detail what are the procedures you can do. So I wrote in obstetrics gynecology. I said I can do these procedures. And I said for cesarean section, I said I'm the first assistant. In surgery you have main surgeon, first, second assistant. In surgery, in orthopedics, I can do this, this, this. They said come, they showed me a room, and 2 hours later I get a call at 11 p.m. And I said, hello. They said, sir, we have a patient. She needs cesarean section. Please come. I said, sure, I'll be there. 2 minutes later, I was there. And I'm washing, getting ready. I can hear and see the patient coming on the trolley. And after getting ready and washed up, I'm standing with my gloves like this. And I'm looking at them. And just like you're all looking at me. So they're looking. There was this moment of silence in the middle of the emergency. So they're like, are you ready? I said, I'm ready. I said, but where's the surgeon? And they're like, what? You are the surgeon. I said, no, for cesarean section, I'm the first assistant. Now, fortunately, the patient didn't know English. And they looked at each other. They said, one lady who was more experienced nurse, she said, have you never done this procedure before? I said, not as a surgeon. So I said, how far is the closest doctor? She said, 30 kilometers at 11 p.m. in remote Bihar. And I remember, I had to make a decision, and I knew about Yogananda ji. I had already considered him my guru, so I just mentally prayed. I said, well, Divine Mother or Master, how do you run this universe? And I said, you've put this in front of me, you make me go through this. I inhaled, I said, I'll do this. And we did it. It went very well. I discharged her 5 days later. Now, here was the interesting thing. She felt like a sister from that moment. So she benefited by the procedure. I benefited through faith and learning and confidence. But that heart opening that happened, and when I was returning 2 weeks later, I was coming and going by train. I remember it was sunset time. I was just thinking about these 2 weeks of service. And really, one after another, my heart just expanded so much. I said, how can this be? How can, like, surgical procedures? So it's not about surgery, as you can easily see. It's not about banking. It's not about IT. It's like Swami said, what are the attitude you're bringing? So finally, when we do that and not forget it, then Swami said, you start entering the Brahmin consciousness. And over there, questions come to us that I'm happy to die, but where does life come from? Who am I doing this? And so when we are in that stage of finally asking those questions, then the soul, you might say, attracts a teacher or a teaching. Finally, when we are pure enough, Swami says, this doesn't happen randomly. We polish our heart. As Christ said, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. So before we see God, we are drawn to the teachings, and then we are drawn to a guru. And all of us can tell a story of how we are sitting over here, how that happened in our life. Once we get the guru, the real tug of war starts. You think that, okay, finally I found the guru. Guru is great. When I saw Swami Kriyanandaji, there was no question about his spiritual stature. At least in my mind, there was simply no question. It was easy to see. He could read your thoughts. His presence was blessing. There was light, joy, calmness, power, wisdom, everything. And I said, the aspiration was, just bless me. It's just like, you got the money, let's say, just give it. I have a series of paintings of Radha and Krishna I got from Rajasthan some years ago. And the theme is, Krishna has his flute, and Radha is in different paintings trying to steal it, and then he's putting his hand, or she's trying to ask for it, and he's talking to her like this with the flute in the right hand. And then she's like cajoling him, pampering and flattering him that he may give the flute. And he's put the flute over here in third painting, and he's listening and appreciative of the flattery. In the last painting, the flute is in her hand. She's playing it, and he's just enveloped her like this. He's not touching her. He's not touching the flute, and the flute is in her hand. And what's that story? In the beginning, we want the guru that I'll sit on the sofa, you bless me. You have the grace, you have the power, I recognize you, I'm your disciple, and lay it on, as they say. But Swamiji said that receiving is not a passive kind. Over here, like those stages of the soul evolution through the caste system that we understood, they unfortunately became hereditary, but they were moment by moment that, how are you feeling now? If you're feeling here, try to go up. So Swami says we have to learn how to give of ourselves and then receive. And finally, when we learn that they are ready to give, they know how to give, but what is important is for me to learn how to receive. Then Swami says, your and my work starts. So let me tell you some stories about how Swami received from Master, and then we'll go into the how can we do it in our lives. Now, Swami Kriyanandaji was once sleeping in his room. It was, I think, late in the night, and he felt a deep divine presence. The good consolation about this story is, Swami says these things happen night and day. You and I sleep, but the masters, for them, for God, there is no duality of that kind. And these blessings can come in a dream, they can wake us up sometimes. And Swami, while he was sleeping, he woke up and he said, I felt a deep, strong divine power in the room. So he started meditating, and as he was meditating, then he looked outside the window. There was no lights on, the moonlight was falling, and Master was walking in the garden. And Swami naturally felt where the power is coming from. So he started doing his practices, and he said he generated such power. He felt for the first time such power rising within him that he was able to recognize this bundle of self-definitions called the ego. And the thought started getting strong. Oh, you are so intelligent, you're so wise, you're so good. And Swami said, I recognized who this is. And he said, I didn't want any of that. I was tired of that pride and that self-constricting self-definition. And Swami said, I generated and held on to that energy. I thought of Master, and with a loud voice, Swami said, get out! And that consciousness left him. Swami said, I have never felt a personal involvement or stake in anything in my life after that experience. Now here's the interesting thing. He went out because he knew where the power had come from, how it happened. He went and he touched Master's feet. And Swami said, Master just gently tapped on his head and said, very good. And Swami later said that in many ways, that was the most important and significant conversation I had with Master in this life. Because the Guru has the power. A true Guru knows God. As Master said, can you expand your heart from a little cup, your mind, your heart, your consciousness? Can you purify your thoughts and feelings enough that I can come in? Another great saint, Padre Pio, he was accused. You see, when we see divinity in a saint, on one level, it's so much bright light. You're like, hallelujah, I finally found somebody. On the other hand, like I said, the ego does not really like it. So Padre Pio, Master, Swamiji, they had many people who just couldn't stand them. And there was this man who persecuted Padre Pio for 50 years, including the last night of his life. He was in his room. He was a powerful church official. Long story short, he is accusing Padre Pio of trying to be Christ-like. Now, you see, Padre Pio had the stigmata on his hand, the exact wounds that Christ had in the hands, in the side of the chest, and in both the legs. For 50 years, he had active bleeding wounds like that. So, but people thought he has done it to himself for popularity. Then, of course, the miracles were Christ-like, so on and so forth. So the power was there. And the following, he was in World War II. People were writing so many letters to him, to the church where he lived, for prayers that it was a world record. He was getting more letters than the US military department was getting, which was second in number. So he was so popular and they didn't like him. So this man said to him that, why don't you reveal how you have fooled people all these years? And today he said, I'm going to die tonight. He said, better to reveal it than before you die. I can absolve you. I'm a minister. I can absolve you of your sins. And Padre Pio is then finally, he's trying to convince him in one way or another how this was going on for a long time. And when the man started seeing more similarities in his life and Christ's life, he said to him, he said, are you calling yourself a co-redeemer? Christ is called the Redeemer. He redeems our souls. Or Christ consciousness, better understood, Krishna consciousness, Guru's consciousness, like Swami was redeemed by Master's consciousness that night. And he said, are you calling yourself another Christ? And this is the best part. Padre Pio very sweetly is trying to help this man understand. He said, no, I have invited Christ into my form. I have received him, in other words. And Swami says, how do you do that? He said, first of all, for example, how do we do it on our path? We do Hatha Yoga. We do energization exercises. The body feels better. Master said, your body is compacted life force. If we are dense, if we are compact, we don't feel good. And when we can loosen those lifetrons or that life force and bring more of it, we feel more energy aware and less body bound. When we meditate, Master has given techniques to see the inner light. When we see the inner light, the soul tells us, it's not a light there. This is who I am. Intuitively, we know the body is a dream. When we go in the breathless state, even for a short duration, why is the breathless state in Hindi? It's called Vishwas. Vishwas means faith. Vishwas means without breath, that I'm not breathing, but I am more alive than ever before. Why? Because I am the soul. That intuitive understanding comes. So through peace, through the Om vibration, the sound of Om, where is that sound coming? It does not come from outside. It comes from within. So in all these techniques, through our prayers, through our self-offering, we receive the masters. Like I said in the beginning, many people don't want it. They're happy, I'll just do my little yoga. I liked this book. I like that quote. And Swami said, you have to be hungry till the last step. It takes heroic love. It takes heroic courage. It takes this passion which is tired. As Swami said, I'm tired of this ego whispering over my shoulder each time. And he said, when you hunger for that, then to that degree the masters give. I'll close with a final story. One of my favorite stories involves my dear friend Bharat's name. This is from the Ramayana. And the scene, I'll make this short, it's a beautiful scene. But Lord Ram, their father has passed away, Dashrath, King Dashrath has passed away. Ram has adorned monastic and ascetic clothes. He, Lakshman and Sita are at the fringe of the forest, about to go in. Bharat, who rules another part of the kingdom, hears about this, rushes, finds out his mother has done this, Kaikeyi. First, he said, I disown you. Publicly, he disowns her. He said, I have nothing to do with you. Let's proceed, get the brother back. You see, you have to see the level of non-attachment involved over here. That this is about my soul happiness. I will not allow anything to come in between. And so he goes, and he, who's there? Yog Vashishta, their family guru, is there. Sita's parents have come to see her, Raja Janak. Master said, Lahari Mahashayaji was Raja Janak in that incarnation. So Bharat says, you come back, I will not rule. Ram is saying, I'm going for 14 years, you have to rule. And I have given that word to my father and to your mother, our mother. And this tug of war is going on. And the Yoga Vashishta is now brought into the picture that tell us what to do. And he says, you know, I'm not able to solve this. I hand it over to Raja Janak. And Raja Janak, interestingly, the first thing he says is, he prays, he said, may God speak through me, which is the true channeling. A guru has no personality. Master used to say, I killed Yogananda long ago. Only God lives in this temple now. So he said, may God speak through me. And then he says, Bharat, you have love for your brother, who you consider your guru. And Ram is abiding by law, you know, by dharma. He has been told, he has given his word to his father. So there's law and there is love. And there is only one thing in creation. Law is supreme, but there's only one thing which is above law, and that is love. And he says, because you have love, your chances of winning are high. Bharat is supremely happy. He picks up the crown. He said, put it on his head. Let's all go back. He says, wait, I'm not done. He said, you love your brother? He said, absolutely. He said, what can you do for him? Bharat announces, right now, I can give up my life for my brother. Not only the kingdom, I'll give up my life right now. And Raja Janak says, that is an easy thing to do. Sometimes it is harder to live for our beloved than to die for them. Since you are professing that you love your brother, stop telling him what he should do. Rather, sit at his feet and ask him, as a disciple, what does he want you to do? And Ram is smiling now. Bharat, in all humility, as Swamiji said, with humility, love, devotion, he says, thank you for opening my eyes. I thought I loved my brother so far. But somewhere there was a disinclination to do his work. It's easy to love Yogananda. But if Master says, when Master told even a great soul like Swamiji, you have a great work to do, intense activity and meditation. Swamiji said, but I want to be a hermit. I don't want to do that work. And Master said, you better learn to like it. That's what you're going to have to do. Your liberation is going to come through that. So when Ram then blessed Bharat, and what did Bharat do for 14 years? He took the sandals, the paduka of Lord Ram, which is symbolic that I take your blessings. It's a reminder, and we channel the Guru that I open my body, I open my mind, I open my likes and dislikes, and I surrender them. It's hard, it's not easy, but come to me. Like Master told Swami, how can a little cup contain the whole ocean? How can you receive an ocean right now? And Swami said, I have prayed, I have talked to him for 65 years. He used to say that towards the end of his life. I remember in Mumbai, we were having a tea and somebody asked Swamiji, how did you write 150 books about Yogananda when you lived with him only 3.5 years? And Swamiji said, you see, those were 3.5 years in his physical presence. But I have kept up my communication with him for 65 years now, every day. That is discipleship, that I have finally come to that stage of past Kshatriya to the Brahmin consciousness where I want to become, the wave wants to become the sea. I want to merge in the infinite consciousness. And all Guru is saying is, we are saying, you give me everything. Guru is saying, first you surrender everything. Give all and receive all. And this tug of war goes on for a while till one by one, bit by bit, we say, Master, I'm willing to give this. I want to give this. Give me the strength to surrender. Give me the strength to love. And when we can do that, Swami says, you will see he was always waiting to bless you. Lord Ram came back. He took the kingdom. It's his. This is God's world. But for our growth, he has put us exactly where we are. The more Swami says, I'm not the doer. Ananda is my gift to Master. He has done it through me. I just expressed willingness. So this work we find ourselves in, or your personal life, your personal job, see how we can see God over there, how we can bring Guruji, Guru's qualities over there. And the more it comes, the more faith is deepened, the more confidence comes that, yes, instead of saying no, if only I say, help me do this. I cannot do it, but you can do it through me. Then we find he comes and he makes this happen. And finally, this is what Swami told us to do as an example for others. Because people are struggling. The ego naturally whispers, oh, don't do anything and you'll be happy. Go back to the couch. The couch is not the long-term solution. We have to get into the battlefield and start the self-offering. And do it, allow the Guru, I should say, allow the Guru to do it through us. Om Guru.